All right, so we are recording this and appreciate everybody on here. I know you're going to get a kick out of this and be able to take some of this information and go out there and instantly turn it into cash into your pocket. Instantly be able to translate some of this to your life, to your teammates. And this is something that I put a lot of effort into. I've studied a lot of information on sponsoring recruiting, on talking to people, on persuading, on influence, and I put a jam-packed session in here for you guys. So turn off the Skype, turn off the cell phone, uh, focus, have your notepads out. A little trick is in this webinar, I'll just tell you right up front, I do put a lot of verbiage on the screen so that you can see exactly word by word some of the things that I say. And a little trick, a little lazy man's way to taking notes is to take a picture of the screen. And so, feel free to use that tactic if it saves you from getting carpal tunnel. And let's get this thing going. So I think most of you on here know about me. Although I did talk to someone today, and they told me that they had just joined a company named Numis, and they asked me if I was familiar with it. And so I kind of chuckled. I said, "Yeah, I'm in that too." So, so let me tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Indiana. Go Hoosiers! I live in Florida. I have for the last 22 years. I'm an ex-real estate investor from 2004 to about 2009, beginning of 2009, mid 2009. I was doing real estate investing. Sometimes I was doing it, other times I was trying it, and I simply didn't adapt quickly enough. In fact, in 2009, I do all these different calculations here because I think they're kind of funny looking back. At the time they weren't funny, but in 2009 I made less than I did when I was 19 years old, making $9 an hour. So that's how bad my 2009 was. It wasn't pretty. I was in, my house, should I say, not me, my house that I was living in, my personal, home, was in foreclosure, and things were not looking good for me in 2009. I really wasn't sure which way I was going to go. I was on the brink of bankruptcy. In fact, I had met with my friend Mark Shapiro, who's an attorney, and I was considering that as an option. However, was able to turn that around since I found Numis Network and got really snapped in with the founders and with our vision and the team, and just started rocking and rolling, and became the number one income earner in Numis my 7th month. I hit 6-star my 10th month, and I expect in the next 30 to 60 days to hit ambassador, and we're going to keep this train rolling. And so I've got a pretty good group of people that are locked arms, that are on the train, that are rocking this thing forward. And I hope that each and every one of you on this webinar start to get a glimpse of where we're going vision wise. And you jump on this train with us, because there's a lot of us having fun and making money. And there's no reason that you can't be in that exact same caboose. So how did I do it? I get this question all the time. How did I do it? Well, I'll tell you, the number one aspect is discipline. Discipline will trump talent every single day of the week. There, I have met so many infinitely more talented marketers than myself, but didn't have focus. They didn't have discipline. Maybe they did it for a week or so and then stopped doing it. I got another organizer on here. Let me mute this person. All right, cool. And someone said go Heat. All right, go Heat. Discipline. When I started, I had to get it going. I was deep in debt. I had no other options. You have to understand, I had no other source of income. There was no other money coming into the mailbox of Ray Higdon. None. Zero. And, so I had to make it happen. And I read this book called Go for No. We've actually had the trainers at our national convention, and awesome book. And it gave me a goal. I wanted to make big money as quick as possible. And so I forced myself to painfully get 20 no's per day. And some people, they see that and they think, oh, I just couldn't do that. Well, you know what? Neither could I. I couldn't do it either. I hated it, but I made myself do it. And you know what 20 no's a day will get you? It'll get you better. It'll get you better at talking to people without a doubt. And it'll also get you yeses. It'll also get you signups. It'll get you recruits. It'll make you money because you can't go through that number of people without sponsoring some of them. Now, with tonight's training, you're going to convert a whole lot more of them than you would have if you didn't watch this training. But I want you to really key in on what got me there. Every single day, and I still do this. Sometimes I'll do a more than an hour, and sometimes it's audiobooks. You know, one of my favorite things is I buy a lot of audiobooks. In the last 2 weeks, I have probably gone through I would say at least 10, 12 hours of audio. And I do this because I get up early and, you know, when I get up in the morning, I go and I put on my headset and I walk around my neighborhood for about 20, 25, 30 minutes, something like that. And I'll do that a couple times a day. Usually I don't get in 3 times, but sometimes 2 times. And so about an hour a day, I'll listen, you know, to an audiobook, and that's something that constantly I come back into my house with a new idea, because I'm constantly working on myself. I have attended almost every single Numis event that has ever happened, and you know why? It keeps me pumped up to see the people in the crowd that are excited, to see the person just getting started and they're excited too, to be around the other leaders, to hear new marketing tactics, to hear people's stories. Every single event that I attend, I walk out of there even more pumped up. And so I know earlier I was talking to Chris Kent, one of the founders. I know we now have, I think, 16 or 15 tickets left to Numis University. It's pretty unreasonable for someone to make it at that point, being that it's right around the corner. But I'm going to suggest to you that anyone who's had massive success was unreasonable in their pursuit of it, was unreasonable. People told them that they were crazy. People told them that it would never happen, but they were unreasonably focused on making it happen and having success. And so I'm going to make an unreasonable request and say to you that whether you're in Florida, Alaska, Malaysia, Mesopotamia, that you would do anything possible to make it to Numis University if you're serious about your business. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay, I'm being unreasonable. You can choose to say, Ray, that's unreasonable. I don't want success that badly. Or you can make yourself a story and say, hey, there was only a week left. I went and got my ticket anyway, and here I am. And because of that, I did X. I did this. So that's just me challenging you there. A lot of times, I'll tell you right now, I didn't feel like it. I didn't want to call that person I'd called on 12 other network marketing companies that I failed in. I didn't want to pick up the phone. I didn't want to do a home meeting. I didn't want to call back that person, but I did it anyway. And so what some people fail to grasp is sometimes they think, well, sure, Ray can do it. Yeah, he jumps all over it. That guy's he's unbelievable. Well, you know what? Uh, Almost every part of building this business, there have been times where I wanted to quit. There have been times where I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway. You know, there have been times where even as the number one income earner, I look down at my phone and I know that I should be calling this person and I really don't want to. But most of the times, more times than not, I do it anyway. And that's the difference. See, everybody, they have these things that they know they need to do. Everyone doesn't want to do them, successful or non-successful. No one wants to do these things. The successful people do it anyway, even when they don't want to. So just to clarify there. And I've always focused on the big vision. In fact, if you haven't, I highly suggest you go out and watch. I did a, let's see here. Let me see if I can pull this up without getting too crazy here. I did on my blog here, rayhigdon.com, this one right here. I did a 20-minute video. Please don't start watching it now, right? That would be silly. Pay attention to the webinar. But I did 20. Did anyone watch this video right here? Show me a little hand raise. Give me a little Give me a thumbs up. Give me a hand raise, a smile, a yes, yes. Okay, a bunch of you did. All right, cool. Um, I'm telling you, if you understand the concepts that I talk about in there, about creating vacuums in your life, about how I wasn't on stage at the Numis Network launch, of how I wasn't on stage in multiple parts of my life, but I focused on the successful people are the people on stage. And so I would highly suggest you can get it at just go to rayhigdon.com. It's you can find it pretty easily. But always focus on the big vision, not the little stuff. Which is most people focus on the little stuff. I focus on the big vision. Okay, and so absolutely. So here is a takeaway. Big takeaway. I talk to people every day, and what's humorous about this is I'll have people call me and they'll say, "Hey Ray, I've got this situation. What do you suggest?" Or Ray, these are my goals. What do you suggest? And I suggest something to them and they say, "Oh, I'm already doing that." Or, "Oh, I already understand that, Ray." Or, "Oh, I've already read that, Ray." And I want you to do something, not just with this training, but with your life moving forward. And that is when you are studying something, stop looking at what you know and start looking at your results. Here you are watching a webinar very specifically about how to sponsor people into Numis Network, how to sponsor people into your business. If you are not sponsoring a lot of people into your business, then perhaps you don't know this stuff. And a lot of times people think they know, but they do not know. Because you know something when you have the actual results. Big difference between a theoretical professor and someone in the nitty-gritty in the field that's making it happen. Does that make sense to you guys? Or you guys show me a hand if you understand what I'm saying here. Big difference. Big difference. If you don't have the results that you're wanting in your business, then put on your listening ears, like Judge Judy says, listening ears, put on your listening ears, and stop saying that you already know this stuff, because I'm going to suggest to you, if you don't have the results, you don't have this stuff. You don't know it if you don't have the results. Okay, awesome. All right, cool. So I broke this down for you guys just to dive a little bit further. I figure there's about 5%. And keep in mind, do you really need to sponsor 10 people a month? You don't. You don't. I mean, you can. I mean, I have, think about this. One of the first three people that I sponsored, John and Stephanie Iannotti, they have sponsored, are you ready for this? They've sponsored 14 people. They've sponsored 14 people and they're 5 stars. So they've been in, let's see now, almost 2 years, over a year and a half. They've sponsored less than one person a month, and they are 5 stars. So is it absolutely necessary for you to sponsor this many people each month? No, it's not. But could it possibly hurt you to sponsor this many people a month? Absolutely not. It definitely does not hurt you to learn the tactics to be able to sponsor a lot of people each and every month. And so I'm not suggesting you have to do this, but boy, isn't it nice to have this ability. And so I figure there's about 5% of people in the network marketing industry that sponsor 10 plus people a month, and 95% that sponsor less than 10 a month. And so I'm going to suggest to you what these different categories need. Sponsoring, the people that are sponsoring a lot of people, they need to have big goals and a vision, or they will get bored. Some of you who haven't sponsored a person ever, you're thinking, what? Get bored? Guys, I've talked to guys that can sponsor 200, 300 people a year. They get bored of it. They get bored, right? And so if you're sponsoring that many people, you need to have big goals and a vision to be able to accomplish it. You also need an accountability coach. Now, these are the toughest people to, typically be held accountable because they got such big results. But with a coach, they can get to that next level very easily. They also want ways to train their people, and they actually can use what everyone searches for. You'll see a common theme in network marketing where people say you don't need the how-to, you don't need the how-to, you don't need the how-to, you don't need the how-to. And the reality is for 95% of people, you don't. 5% will actually apply those how-tos and improve their business. Only about 5%. 95%, and I'm going to share with you what they really need and here in a second. Sponsoring, everybody needs masterminds. You need other people that you can bounce ideas off of and get feedback from. If you're sponsoring less than 10 a month, which is 95% of the people in this industry, number one thing you need is mindset. And you can call that a million different things. You can call it attitude. You can call it, mindset. You can call it, where your head's at. You can call it focus. You can call a lot of different things. Okay. And you also want to understand how to crack that subconscious. You see, if you're not having success in this business, there is a subconscious reason for that. And there's one book in particular that I think does a really great job of helping with that. And that is by my friend Noah St. John, introduced to me by my good friend Sumange Bass. He talks about your why not to's, talks about your subconscious. We're not going to dive into that on this one, but I highly suggest that book. It's called The Secret Code of Success. I had the opportunity to sit down at Noah St. John's house in Akron, Ohio. He just moved there. We had lunch. It was fantastic. Great guy. And so I appreciate Sumange for introducing me to him. Less than 10 a month, you need some discipline and a solid routine. And we're actually going to talk about that here a little bit tonight. Now, tough love. This is the real deal. Even if you're coming to me with a really bad story, Ray, I just got laid off. I'm handicapped. I lost my husband. I did this. I did that. I will believe in your greatness forever. I will constantly believe in your greatness because here's what you have to know. You have to know that there have been people in worse situations than yourself that has succeeded more. You got to know that. And so the world around you will give you that pat on the back. The world around you will accept you not having success. I just will not. Because I believe in your greatness. I know that anybody can get to where they want to go from wherever they are, no matter the circumstances. Because circumstances are temporary. The only circumstance that isn't temporary is suicide. Okay? You're not going to be telling me your story if you killed yourself. Okay? Other than that, that's the only exception. Other than that, you can get out of. You can climb out of whatever hole you're in. You can climb out of whatever calamity that you're experiencing, and you're going to do it by people, kicking you in the butt and telling you that you can, rather than saying it's okay to not have success. Because I'll never tell you that. Okay? If you don't have the results in your life that you want, you do not know what you think you know. So here's what I'll actually be covering. There's me and Jessica in Puerto Rico on our last, I think the 7-day cruise that was. I'm going to be covering posturing, lack versus abundance, and communication styles. This is not personality types. Big difference there. Nothing wrong with personality types. I'm not saying there is. That's just not what I'm covering. I'm going to talk about some stress relief, which some of you need badly. Some of you are so stressed out over the wrong people. You need to understand this is not a stressful business. We are not brain surgeons. We are not military intelligence. This is not a stressful business, guys. So you can't let yourself get frustrated by the wrong types of people, and I'm going to help you out with that. I am going to cover some objections. I know that's people clamor for that. People, I want to know how to overcome that objection. I am going to cover that. So rest assured, you're going to get that fulfillment of me talking about objections. However, I'm going to tell you why you actually get them. And that's something I've never seen on any objection course, any sales course. I tell you exactly, here's the objection, here's how I overcome it. However, here's why you get it. Because that's what people are missing. People are missing, why do I keep getting this objection? Well, I'm going to tell you why you keep getting it. And that will help you address the situation, have an awareness of why you get it, and then move forward and possibly not get it. Because I'll tell you, a lot of the objections that I hear people get, I haven't gotten in years. I haven't gotten. And so there are certain aspects of your personality, charisma, and how you talk to people that will help you reduce the number of times you get those certain objections. And I'm also going to talk about, of course, closing. So I want to say there's no way that this would be possible without a whole bunch of trainers in the industry. So I want to thank David Wood, Tom Challen, Mark Weiser, Mike Dillard, Cedric, Michael. I mean, all these guys definitely have helped to my knowledge. I've bought every course from all these guys and studied the heck out of them and taken some of that information, some more than others, and put it into this presentation. So if you have a great trainer in your upline, if you have a great trainer that's helped you, definitely thank them because they're putting in a lot of work. And if they've helped you, that's fantastic. I've certainly had a lot of mentoring, a lot of help from a lot of different people. So I appreciate all of you guys out there. So posturing. I know people that get lots of leads every single day, but they don't close any of them. And the number one reason is because of their posture. Posturing. So let's talk about this. Now, most people, and you are postured one way or another. You're postured either weakly or you're postured strongly. Most people are postured very weakly. They hope, they throw a Hail Mary into the end zone, they scratch the lotto ticket, and they have a lack mentality. They are very, boy, I hope this works out. And when I hear that language, I'm quick to point out that you'll never hope your way to the top. Never, ever, ever, ever going to happen. This is my definition of posturing. Posturing is the critical evaluation of your time and how it is spent and with whom. When I am talking to somebody that I know fairly quickly is not someone that I actually want to spend time with, I get out of that conversation. And so we're going to talk about that specifically a little bit later, but it is you need to be critical about your time because your time management will dictate the velocity of your success. If you want to get to the top quickly, then you need to be you need to evaluate your time. This is not, oh my goodness, someone called me back. Let me talk to them as long as possible until they tell me they have to go. No, you don't got time for that. This is the critical evaluation of your time, how to spend it with whom. The absence, the complete lack of hope or hype. You are not falling into someone's blame game. And there are people that are going to tell you, they're going to say, well, hey, I'll join this thing, but I really trust you, Ray. I trust you that this is going to work out. And see, they're already setting themselves up for failure, and they're setting me up in their little blame game. And I quickly correct them and say, listen, if this is going to happen, it's going to be up to you, not me. I'm going to guide you. I'm going to coach you. I'll mentor you. I'll suggest routine for you. I'll suggest discipline for you. But if you are going to own your success or you're going to own your failure, and see, that responsibility is one of the key ingredients of if you're going to be successful in this industry or not. And you also have to be willing to let someone go. Now, let's talk about that. Let someone go? What are you, crazy? Has Ray lost his mind? Let someone go? What? And people say this, easy for you to say, sure. If I was in your position, I'd let people go too, right? It is your ability to let someone go. It is your ability to not be so addicted to the outcome that actually makes people want to join you. When people ask me, hey, Ray, why should I join you? I say, maybe you shouldn't. Let's find out what your expectations are, and if I'm a fit, great. And if I'm not, that's okay too. And then they quickly realize, wait a minute, he's not just trying to close me. He's not just looking at that dollar sign on my forehead. He's actually evaluating whether I'm a fit for his grand scheme, whether I'm a fit for his plan. And that's a very different attitude. That's a very different stance to come from. And the reality is, and anyone here, I just want to, let's see someone's asking me coin questions. Yeah, no coin questions on this. This is a members only training. If you have questions specifically about Numis, just shoot me an email. I'll be more than happy to help you out there. Okay, so let me ask you this. Those of you who have sponsored people, those of you who have a team, Is there anyone on your team that you wish you didn't sponsor? Throw me a little hands there. Any kind of hand movement. Let's see some hands. Any hands going up? I see. Oh my God! Every single person is almost raising their hand. That's hilarious, right? And so the fact is, someone who's a pain in the butt is never worth $100 ever. There are, I'm telling you right now, guys, if you are just looking at, let me sponsor everyone, anyone that will give me the time of day, I'll sponsor them because I need that $100. Trust me, when you bring in the wrong people or the wrong person, you would gladly pay 200 for them never to call you again. 200, I'm telling you. And those of you who raised your hands, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so that's something. It's so powerful to understand that. It's so powerful to understand that the fact is, if you're building an empire, would Bill Gates, would he just partner up with anybody? Would I don't know. I mean, think about anyone successful. Anyone successful. Would Bill Gates, would he partner up with anybody off the street and say, "Oh, you'll put some money in, but you're going to be a total pain in the butt"? Yeah, jump aboard. No. He was very selective with who he worked with. And the fact is, you need to be selective too. And when people you're talking to take your power away, you take the power right back. And if you can just understand this part right here, just that last little paragraph, that last little bullet. When people take your power away, no matter what it is, you take it right back. And I'm going to share with you how I cover objections. I'm going to share with you exactly how I do that, and you're going to see my actual script there. So let's talk about lack versus abundance. If majority of people, when they come into this industry, they have a lack mindset. If only I could get my brother-in-law to see this. If I just had that answer when they asked me, "Oh, Ray, if we were only open in Thailand. I got this hustler that I met on Facebook. He's unbelievable. If we were just open in Thailand, my business would be on fire right now." Well, Ray, if you were just in my area, you wouldn't do so well, right? If only I had business cards. What if my upline still, any of these things, if any one person event that you sign or don't sign frustrates you, you have a lack mentality. You see, those of us that get this business, we know there are going to be millions and millions of people in Numis Network. Do you think I will ever get frustrated over one person telling me no? Over one person throwing me a stupid coin question? I mean, give me a break. A dumb coin question. It's just silly. Don't let people frustrate you. Have that abundant mindset. And I'll tell you, people say, well, yeah, it's easy for you to say, Ray, because you're 6-star or whatever. But it's that mentality that got me to 6-star. It's that mentality. I had an abundance. In day one, when I needed money to pay my utilities bill, because my girlfriend had paid it the 2 months beforehand because I was dead broke, trust me, I needed $100 in my life. I did. But I always had the mindset that, you know what, I'm going to build this into an empire. I'm going to build this into such an unbelievable $1 million a month business that has more than 10,000 people making $100,000 a year in my business. I had such an abundant mindset that even when I needed to put ramen noodles in my pantry, I still didn't get frustrated over one dumb person asking me a stupid coin question. So don't let you get frustrated by that. Because as soon as they get under your skin, they will never join you. Because they know they got you. They know that you're just someone that thinks of lack, not abundance. And people want to be with other people that see the bigger vision, that have a bigger vision, that see that they're on a train that is going to the top of Success Mountain, and they just want to be on that train somewhere. If they could fit into that train and they're excited, they're pumped, they're happy as can be, but they got to know that you're on that train. You're not in Doomsville. You're not in the graveyard or the junkyard crying about someone giving you a dumb objection about coins, right? So don't have that lack mentality. And so let's talk about a little bit about communication styles. And I'm going to tell you some secrets. These are things that if you can just switch this in your in how you communicate with people, you're going to see some different results. So you've heard of personality types. That's the fire, the ice, the wind, the water, the earth, the metal, whatever, right? You know, the eagle, the lion, the bobcat, the golden retriever, whatever. I don't, there's a million different ways that talk about personality types. You talk about Myers-Briggs, the ESTJs, all different kinds. I'm talking about communication styles, very different. There's actually four categories, but the three that I'm going to talk about is visual, audio, and touch. And and this is a way to improve all of your communication. It is very easy to improve your communication over email and Facebook messages and things like that. I would never try to sponsor people through email. I would get them on the phone if you really want to get them involved and see that there's a person behind the website. However, you can improve your communication. So let me give you some examples. All right. When people send you messages, instead of just responding how you would normally respond or responding how you think you should respond, look at how they're communicating. Look at how they're communicating and see if they are using auditory type words, such as, I hear where you're coming from, or hey, I want to see if Numis resonates with me. Hey, I'd like to watch a presentation. Does that sound good? Can we meet next Tuesday? Is that clear? You see, all of those are audio type clues that they communicate in an audio style. And so you can respond to them in an audio type way. Right? And so if they're saying things like, hey, I'm not sure if this resonates, say, hey, I completely understand and I hear where you're coming from. You see, you can interchange those. Now, a lot of people, they use visual. I see what you mean. I'm looking for your vision of the company. I think I get the picture. Hey, I'd like to take a look at your business. You see, you can interchange those and you can respond to people in a visual manner if that's how they communicate. And so when you get good at this, you actually do it without even thinking. And so you look for clues in their communication. And guess what? If they're writing this in their email, they more than likely, they speak like that as well. And so if you see someone is writing in a certain way on their emails, you can actually communicate to them on the phone in that same kind of manner. And so you start to build up a kind of a tool belt of how to communicate with people based on how they communicate. Very different. Okay. I'm more of a hands-on kind of person. Listen, I want to touch base, reach out. I need someone to hold me by the hand. That is a touch person. I'm going to speak to them in a touch way. Now, no one, I've been doing this for quite a while, never had someone call me out and say, hey, wait a minute, I'm talking to you visually and you're responding visually. Wait a minute, are you up to something? No one catches this because it's natural conversation. But they won't know why, but you'll have a better rapport with them. This is something, if you want more on this, I would suggest, there's an audiobook out there called The Law of Connection by Michael Lozier. Losier. He also wrote The Law of Attraction. He wrote something else too. And Law of Connection, if you want more on this. So let me give you some stress relief. We got quite a few things to go through, and I want to deliver this to you guys and then get to your questions. Stress relief. People that are rude, don't try to rehabilitate them. Don't try to send them to a manners class. Just next them. People that are rude to me, I don't mind it. Like when someone's rude, it means perfect. Perfect. It means a very low usage of my time was expended and I very quickly can move on to the next person. And so if someone says to me, is this one of those stupid pyramid schemes that are scams? I'll say, if they say it that rudely, I'll say something like, yeah, it's obviously not for you, but hey, good luck to you. Wish you the best. Click. I'm gone. I don't have time to rehabilitate their rudeness. Okay? Don't have time for it, so you shouldn't have time either. Don't deal with closed-minded people. You can spend hour after hour after hour trying to take a cynic or a skeptic, but I'll tell you this, I have never seen a cynic or a skeptic walk across the stage and get a big check. I've never seen it happen. Okay, have you? Have you guys ever seen a scheme thing, but thanks for the money, right? I've never seen that happen. And so stop spending time on people that are cynics and skeptics because that is a complete waste of your time. If they're overly negative, and these are some of the things that I say. Hey, I apologize, clearly not for you, but I do wish you the best. Gotcha. Tell you what, I'm going to hang up now, but I do wish you the best. See, I'm not rude back to them. Why? What's that term? Pigs don't mind wallowing in the mud, something like that, right? So don't sit there. Someone that's rude, someone that's overly negative, guess what? They like to argue. They go around town arguing with people just because they like it. They're in the mud. You don't have time for the mud if you're serious about your business. Okay. So let's talk about some objections. And I've taken some of the more common ones, and I'm going to give you some bullets here that's going to help you out. And they are very simple. These are non-complex objections. Okay. This is not drawing out a bunch of circles on a whiteboard or something like that. This is not, convincing people in any shape or way. So I'm going to share with you these. And I'm going to cover them and tell you why you actually get them, which is very, very different. Keep in mind, only a small, maybe 5, maybe 10% of people will improve based on the simple answering of objections. But when you know why you get them, you can actually stop getting them. You can change your physiology. You can change your vibration where you hardly ever get these kind of questions. Okay. Now, I thought this was funny, so I just threw it in. You can actually, I saw a website that was selling this as a shirt. I thought it was funny. Don't support Egypt, it's a pyramid scheme. That's funny. Come on. I thought it was funny. All right. I'm corny. Okay. So if someone actually asks me, hey, is this a pyramid? Now, if they're rude, I let them go. They're toast. They're dead to me, right? I don't want to say dead to me, but I am not going to talk to them about my business, period. If I can't tell if if they're not being rude, but I actually think that's an actual question, I may say something like this. Are you serious? Like, really? If you're joking, we can continue talking. If not, this is not for you, and I appreciate you being so open with me so early on. Do you see how postured that is? That is, and here's what most people are like, you build the left leg, then you build the right leg, and I gotta go. You just freak out over that. That question a lot of times is just to see you dance, and I don't dance. If someone's trying to make me dance, I will not dance. I'm not playing their game. Why? I'm building my business. I am qualifying them to see if they are worthy of my time versus let me answer all your dumb questions and hopefully I'll make $1 off you. That is very different posturing. Okay. Here's another one. This is kind of funny. Yeah, it is a pyramid. We'll probably only make money for the next 6 months until the attorney generals catch on. You in, man? Just make a joke of it. This objection is a joke. It's a total joke. Since 1941, this is built into a $110 billion industry a year. This is a joke of a question. So never take this serious, ever. I don't ever say, well, do you have a boss? And does your boss have a boss? And does his boss have a boss? And where are you in this pyramid? I don't do that because to me, that is, it's making their question credible, which it isn't. It's just stupid. It's just a dumb question. And so this will melt away from your life when you start taking it less seriously. It'll just melt away like butter on hot popcorn. It'll just melt to the bottom, and all of a sudden you'll realize, man, I haven't gotten that in a while. Okay? Here's why you get it. Top earners rarely, if ever, get this objection. Why you get it, you're not confident in your words. They sense weakness, and you're not higher on the power totem pole than them. I heard Chris Kent kind of talked about this. When no one goes up to the lawyer and accuses them of being involved in a scam, or that, hey, isn't that doctor, isn't that medical practice, isn't that just a con, right? That just doesn't happen. Why? Because they're higher on the power totem pole than them. They don't object to them. Okay. When you are confident in not just your words, I shouldn't even put that, not just in your words, but in your music. In your music, what vibration are you giving off? You can study a script book, which is, fine. I suggest it all the time. There's some great script books out there. However, it is not your words, it's your music. And that's why you can take someone that has no clue about scripts, but is just confident, and they will sign people up left and right. They won't even know how to answer any objections. They won't know any lines, but because they're confident, they'll sign people up left and right. No problems. Okay? And so here's some help with this. If you're getting this, start learning to let people go quicker and not caring about the results, and this objection will melt away. You'll no longer get it. Or if you do get it, it'll be a joke, or if you do get it, it's very, very rare. Okay? So here's one. How are you doing with it? Well, how much are you making? Okay? Be honest. I've heard some people say, tell them you're doing unbelievable. Well, unless you're super confident, you may not be able to pull that off. Unbelievable. You wouldn't believe me if I told you, right? Unless you're really confident, what if they call you out? Well, what does that mean? Well, you've now painted yourself in a corner, and you got to lie your way out, or you got to, you got a problem, right? And so here's something that it's an answer. It's a powerful answer that any person on this webinar can use, and it also brings the focus back to you. If you ever want to get your posture back, ask questions. But the question that I'm giving you right here is like a samurai sword. It will just schnick them in half. So let me tell you how I say it, or how you could say it. How are you doing with it? Well, how much are you? Well, I'm just getting started. But the guy that's training me is making $40,000 a month and is showing me how to get more leads. Let me ask you, would you even be open to earning some extra money from home right now? Now, why do I say even be open? I say it like that because it's a challenge. You see, some people would do, I'm just getting started, but the guy that's training me is making a lot of money and he's showing me how to get leads. Would you be open to earning some extra money from home right now? See, that's non-postured. That is not postured. That is, I'm still hoping that you're going to look at my business. When I say, would you even be open? That means I'm now qualifying my time. Because guess what? If you're not open, then we could just move along and we could talk about the weather or the sports, or I can just get back in my car and drive away. I'm asking, would you even be open? That's a much different question than saying, hey, would you be open to a side project, make some extra money, or would you be open to, would you pretty please look at my business? Would you even be open to earning some extra money from home right now, or basically am I wasting my time? You see, they have tried to take away your power by saying, well, how are you doing with it, Joe? How much are you making, hat shat? Well, I'm just getting started, but the guy that's training me is making a whole lot of money and he's showing me how to get more leads. Would you even be open to earning some extra money from home right now? So raise your hand if that kind of, did that send off a little light for you? Did you get anything out of that? All right, bunch of hands, whole bunch of hands. Cool. See, it's a little different. See, if someone tries to take my power, I always take it back. Always. And it's funny. I mean, it's always, no matter where they are. I don't care. I don't care how much they've seen. I don't care what their background is. I don't give a crap what they think they have. They're not taking my power. I don't care who they are. I am not going to kiss their butt. I don't care if they've made $50 billion in this industry. I am not going to kiss their butt, because I'll tell you, someone that's made $50 billion in this industry does not respond to butt kissing. And I get that all the time. I have people call me and say, Ray, oh man, I got this guy. He's huge. 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 This guy's unbelievable. Oh man, we got to treat him specially. Could you go over there? Could you just make him a spaghetti dinner, Ray? And I'll tell you, those people, if they have told you how great they are, the chances are very unlikely they actually are that great or they've been that great in 10 years, because people that are actually great don't tell you how great they are. In fact, there's a direct correlation to people that tell me how good they are to how badly they will do in the business, it seems. Now, I've prayed, I've hoped that that would be disproved. I've just never seen it happen. And so if a guy spends 1 hour telling me how fantastic he is, I can almost guarantee not going to have big success. But the guys that say, you know what, yeah, I'm pretty serious about this. Yeah, I'll catch you around. I'm going to make some calls here. All of a sudden, they come at me with 10 people signed up. I'm like, whoa. And so I'm telling you, I've seen a direct correlation to how much they boast, how much they, do that versus how much they actually perform. Okay. So here's why you get the how much objection. It's all confidence. Now, I want you to understand something. Here, I'm telling you, if you really get the gist of this presentation, what is it that you need? Is it, is it magical, a mystical ability to understand the product? I haven't mentioned the product one time. You don't need to talk about the product hardly at all, right? This is about your confidence. This is about your attitude. This is about your personality. That's what this is about. This is about your qualification of your time. Okay. If you are being overly pushy before you have rapport, you also may get this objection too. Top earners hardly ever get it. And here's how you can help. Use your upline and your team and myself in part of your answer. Hey, our team is out. I'm just getting started. However, our team does these weekly webinars that are unbelievable. In fact, last time he talked about how to talk to people, how to persuade people, and we're having just a blast. And let me ask you, let me roll it right back. Are you even open to making some extra money from home right now? You see how that works? And so you incorporate your upline and team and use them in your answer. Someone that says they don't have time. And I actually like this one. I like it when people tell me they don't have time, because it's the busy people that get the most done. Okay? And here's an answer. You know what's funny is you want something done, you got to find someone, a busy person to do it. Busy people get the most done, and you know it, and I know it. Now, if you're saying this to blow me off, that's totally cool. See, you call out the elephant in the room. See, some people are scared of the elephant in the room. I'll call out that elephant every single time. If you're telling me you're busy, hey, guess what? If you're saying this to blow me off, that's totally cool. But if you think this requires a huge amount of time, you're actually wrong. Now, let me ask you this. What were the reasons you were even considering a home-based business, or were you? Am I off base here? You see, so this is an answer you could give to people that have opted into your website. You can give to people that you're talking to, etc. And you're rolling it right back. What were the reasons you're even considering a home-based business? That's a perfect question for a lead, someone that has opted into a website, someone that has gone to Numis One or opted into some other website that you have. Okay. Why you get the no time objection? Well, you're making the #1 mistake made in network marketing typically, and that's you're saying too much. If you talk to someone for 45 minutes without ever asking them one question, they're going to think that's the way they have to build the business, and quite frankly, they don't have that time. Or they're blowing you off. And so when you call them out and say, hey, if you're blowing me off, it's totally cool. You see, when you do that, it challenges them. So even if they were blowing you off, most times they'll say, oh, no. Because people don't like to be called out. And so, hey, if you're blowing me off, that's totally cool. Oh, no. Even if they were blowing you off, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say that they weren't. Now you've challenged them. Now they have a better possibility of actually watching a presentation, even if they were blowing you off, by calling them out. You see, it's the things that we're scared to bring up that gets us, that will cut you, that will surprise you. And so bring it up. I have no problem saying, hey, listen, if you're blowing me off, hey, let's save each other some time. No big deal. It's all good. If this isn't fit for you, fantastic. No problem. See, I say that because most people would not say that. And they appreciate that candor. Like, wait a minute, this guy doesn't need me. He doesn't need to sign me. And so use posturing and you be busy. You be the one that has to get off the phone. You be the one that has to rush off. If you're meeting someone in person, I get this question all the time. Well, Ray, if I'm meeting someone at an event, I can't just drop them a line and then say I have to run. Well, yes, you can. You can say, hey, I got to run. I got to make this phone call. Step out in the hallway, pretend like you make a phone call, whatever. You can be busy. Busy people want to be around other busy people. Now, love this one. You guys ever get this one? What's this all about? What is this all about? You ever get that one? It's kind of an annoying one, right? It's like, oh, what's this all about? What is it? It is someone, again, trying to take your power. Someone is trying to take your power. What's this all about? Why should I even listen? I'm so important. What's this all about? Well, what about this answer? This is about me interviewing you to see if you're someone I'd be interested in working with. Are you someone that is even open to making extra money from home? Now, how gangster is that response? Is that good? Do you guys like that? Little hands? Show me some hands here. Someone's saying, okay, some hands. All right, lots of hands, lots of hands. That is a great answer. What's this all about? Well, Joe, this is about me interviewing you to see if you're someone I'd be interested in working with. Are you someone that's even open to making extra money from home? Are you someone that's even open? See, that's not me saying, pretty please look at my business. That's me saying, hey, am I wasting my time here? So why you get that? Usually you went into a pitch too quickly. Or maybe you were too hypey, use some company industry jargon. You want to keep this very, very simple. That's why I use things like side project. That's why I use things like make money from home. Very simple. I don't talk about would you be interested in profiting from the sale of MS-70 graded numismatic coins from different mints around the world in a binary that also has a coded bonus on top of it? See, someone's going to respond to that and be like, what? What's this all about, dude? What are you talking about? MS what? Numis, yeah, what? What are you talking about? Would you be interested in making money from home? Is that something you're even interested in? Are you even open to making money from home? That's pretty plain speak. Anybody can understand what you're saying there. So build rapport to get some help. If you're getting this a lot, build rapport before you pitch, and you have to always be busy. Raise their curiosity versus them just respond negatively. I need to think about it. Now, some of you on the line, you're going to say, wait a minute, you used that on me. And I have. These things that I'm teaching you, I teach you. What I teach you, I want you to think about this. Most of the people on this webinar, not all, most of the people on this webinar are in my team. Would I want to share something with you that I didn't believe worked or that I had used? Would that make sense? That would not make sense. It wouldn't make sense at all. It would only make sense that I would want you to be trained in a manner that would help you build your business, because that also helps me build my business, right? And so I'm sharing with you, some of you on the line, I know you're going to say, wait a minute, you used that on me. Well, yes, I did, because it works. And I know that if I believe in my product, if I believe I put out way more value than someone ever pays, then my job is to get people signed up to help them get to that next level in their life, whatever that level means. And so let me share this with you. So someone says, I need to think about it. Now, is it just me, or am I the only one that ever hears this one? Anyone ever hear this? Little hand raise. All right, lots of hands, lots of hands. Perfect. Now, here's a really good one. I mean, it's dirty. It's just dirt McGirt. It's just powerful. Okay. Perfect. I totally understand. I prefer to work with people who know they are serious, who don't have their fingers crossed behind their back and are ready to join my team. Take as much time as humanly possible. In fact, we have a couple hundred videos online. I do not like investing my time in someone that is not confident. Is that a challenge or what? Does anybody want to not be serious and not be confident? No. We want to be known as, hey, we're serious people that are confident. And so what I've done here is I've labeled you as non-serious, non-confident. I've challenged you. You almost want to sign up just in spite of me. Now, that's a little psychology there, guys. Is that a little psychology there? Is that good stuff? Someone's saying, ouch. That's a little psychology, right? Perfect. I need to think about it. See, most people, here's what most people will do. Most people, when you say I need to think about it, they say, "Oh no, no, no. What do you got to think about? I mean, it's this, it's that, it's gold and silver, it's hot, it's bam, 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 bam." Where I totally pull back. I totally get reserved. I say, "Perfect. I totally understand. You know what? I prefer to work with people who know they're serious and ready to join my team. In fact, take as much time as humanly possible. I don't like investing my time in someone that's not confident, so please go through the couple hundred videos online, and once you're done kicking the tires, go ahead and join." You see, some people are contrarian, and so when you give them permission to do the thing that they don't think you want them to do, they no longer need to do it. I've had people tell me I need to think about it. I tell them this line, and they join right after I say this line. They join saying, "Well, you know what? I think I'm ready." Oh, okay. Let me get your information. And here's another one that I've used. Someone says, "I need to think about it," or "I need more information." I say, and that was my buddy Baxter saying hello. I say, "Well, what's cool about our company is we have tons of online resources that you can offer to people that take a really long time to make a decision if you ever do decide to join." Now, did I say they were taking a long time? No, I actually didn't. I used a third-party reference. Let me read that again. What's cool about our company is we have tons of online resources that you can offer to people that take a really long time to make a decision if you ever do decide to join. Do you want to be known as someone who takes a really long time to make a decision? Most people don't. And so when you use this, you can expedite their decision-making capability. So here's why you get that sometimes. Sometimes you do run into analyticals that just simply take a long time. Nothing wrong with them. They're some of the most loyal people in the business, so there's nothing wrong with analyticals. Nothing at all. CPA types, analyticals, whatever you want to call them, nothing wrong with that. Or they could possibly be blowing you off. You may have pushed too hard. If they are telling you need to research or think about it, pull back. Pull it back. Do not try to hard close them. That's the exact opposite of what will work. If you try to hard close them, they are going to dig their feet in the sand. They will not join. Definitely not on the spot. They may never join. So if someone digs their feet in the sand that says, "I need to research or I need to think about it," you pull back and say, "Absolutely. In fact, I'd feel more comfortable if you did." See, that's not what they're expecting. They're expecting you to try to push them hard, and they hate that. They don't like that. So don't push them hard if they give you this. Okay? Understand that some people are analytical. Some people are contrarian. When you tell them that their research okay, sometimes they sign up. Now, I'm going to cover, I think I got one more here. What kind of training do you have? You love this question. When people ask this question, this is a very buying question. Well, what kind of training do you have? And in fact, in my opinion, our company has the best training I have ever seen in network marketing. That's not just because I'm doing a lot of it. It's because, I really see dedication from our team, from our founders, from our upline, from the company as a whole. Really dedication to self-improvement, to mindset, to building up each other. Unbelievable. The low cost of training events and materials that they have. I know we are a company absolutely dedicated to the betterment of our people. Do you guys agree with that? Am I on the right page here? Do you guys agree with that? Hands, seeing lots of hands. Cool. That's how I feel. I feel our company, Numis Network, very dedicated to this. Okay, so what kind of training do you have? Well, most people will answer this question however they want training. You don't know how they want training. And so here's the right way to answer it. And I'll tell you, I did this wrong multiple times until I got it. Okay, so here's a suggestion. And this is a very powerful response when someone says, "What kind of training?" Our training covers how to easily and without rejection talk to people you already know, or learn how to get more leads and talk to people you do not know. Who would you mainly be interested in talking to about this? You're asking them, would they be interested in talking to people they know? Or would they be interested in talking to people online? Would they be interested in learning how to generate leads? Now, you may be the person that is absolutely fraidy cat of talking to your warm market, but you may be talking to someone who is not. In fact, you may be talking to someone who is fully planning on talking to their warm market. But if you didn't know what kind of training they wanted, you would have jumped the gun and said, yeah, we teach you how to get leads online. And they may think, well, I don't really want to learn that. You see, you want to find out what they are interested in. And this is a common goal you should have of any kind of recruiting, any kind of sponsoring that you do, any kind of talking to people. You want to find out, what do they like? What are they interested in? What do they want to know about? Okay. This is a good answer. I like this a lot. Great. Someone says, what kind of training do you have? Great question. I love answering it as it shows you're sincere about success. Let me also answer some questions you did not ask that I think you might want to know as well. How many of you are scared to death that you're going to get that one dumb question that you can't answer? A lot. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to show hands, because I know a lot of you are scared about that dumb question that you won't be able to answer. Okay? When you say something like this, let me answer some questions you did not ask, that shows major confidence. That shows, wow, this person is actually sharing with me some things that they think I should know, and I didn't even ask. Wow, this person knows their business. This person really, and so people naturally, they ask me, well, what would those questions be? Make them up. Make up those. If someone's asking about training, make them up. You may be wondering what time we have our trainings at. You didn't ask it, but you may wonder, well, we have our trainings 9 o'clock Eastern on Tuesday is our live training, but he records it and he shares it with you. We also have 9 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday. We have a company call. Sometimes that's recorded as well. And so we have multiple trainings in multiple different times. I know Dave Wood, the crazy Costa Rican, he does, meetings on Monday as well. And so you got multiple nights to pick from the type of training that you're looking for. See, those are all questions they didn't ask, but by me filling in those blanks, they will appreciate it if I told them that. Now, the only danger here is you don't want to talk too much. Don't go for 45 minutes on questions they didn't ask, okay? Go for 2 minutes. Go for 3 minutes. Give them a little bit, okay? Why you get this? Well, first of all, they're probably serious. Someone's not going to ask about the training unless they're actually, at some point, serious. So you just got to be careful. Don't assume that they want the exact same training you want. Get them to tell you. And then you, of course, tell them, oh, yes, that is what we have. Okay? So get comfortable answering this. This should be a sign up for you when someone asks about training. So let's talk about closing. This is where you get paid. My friend Mike Welch, he taught me this. Yeses and nos are fine, but maybes starve babies. Okay? Is that kind of funny? Yeses and nos are fines because they're quick, right? They're typically fast. But the people hanging on the fence, maybes starve babies, okay? So to maximize sales, have a strong follow-up. And, this is, if you're getting a lot of leads but not closing anyone, get better at closing. If you're boasting and telling people on Facebook that you get 30 leads a day but you're not closing one of them, there's a problem there. Get better at closing, okay? If you're scared of the phone, this industry is probably, well, let me say this. Let me back that up. Let me back this up, okay? There are times where I do not want to get on the phone. There are times when every person I know doesn't want to get on the phone, at some point maybe terrified of the phone. But if you're not picking up the phone and you're not willing to ever talk to someone on the phone, this is probably the wrong industry for you. Okay, and that's not me being harsh. I'm just trying to be real with you. I don't know, excuse me, anybody who has built an empire in network marketing, and I hope that that's your goal, that hasn't used the phone a lot, okay? Here's an idea. What the hell? It's not a permanent decision. If you're terrible on the phone, get a telemarketing job. Guess what? They're always hiring. How do I know? Because they hired me. I used to sell long distance. It was not fun. I got cursed out 1 out of 5 calls. But did that make me fearless on the phone? Sure. I don't have any problem picking up the phone, talking to anybody, right? There are still people in my warm market that I cringe when I go to call them, but I call them anyway. And so if you're absolutely terrible on the phone, you go get a telemarketing job for a few weeks, you will come out a whole lot better. Guarantee it. You may even make a buck or two, you may not. But you will certainly get better because it's with experience that you actually get better at these things. And if you're getting leads that give you their phone number and you are not calling them, especially you online marketers, I know who you are, you fancy schmancy video creators that blog every day but don't call your leads, I am closing them. I'm just letting you know. I appreciate your inability to call back leads because I put them into my business every single week. I do. And so if that sounds painful to you, then you might want to start calling them. Or you know that me and my beautiful crushing closer fiance Jessica, we will get them in this business because we do call every lead. Okay? Just saying. Now, I don't know if I should even be telling people to call their leads because they typically, if you don't, they go hunting, and who are they going to find? And so if someone gives you their phone number, you need to call them. Okay? So talk, invite, follow up, and close, and we're almost at a wrap here. But this is something that's really covered. If you go to numisgrowth.com, it's really covered in the step two of that conversation, and that is build rapport, invite to a presentation, follow up, and close. Find out where they're from, build that rapport. Pretty basic stuff, but a lot of you are going for the jugular too quick. And so some things that you can say, it may or may not be for you. I'll send you some information. If you're interested, great. If not, no big deal. This is a nonchalant approach. That's my favorite. Based on what you saw, what did you like? Not what did you think? What did you like? How would you see yourself building it? How serious are you? Let them talk. And this is straight from Dave Wood, the monster from Costa Rica. Sounds to me like you're ready to join. And then be quiet. Okay? Very powerful. This very simple. If you take a picture of that screen right there, print it, hang it by your desk, and every lead you follow this, you'll sponsor a lot of people. You will. You just got to know when to be quiet and when to let them talk. And that's after each one of these questions. Okay? I like this one. I learned this from Tom Challen, I believe. Or maybe it was Mark Weiser. I'm not sure. But if you have someone that you have talked to 52 times, they've been on 13 different webinars, maybe they've even attended 4 home meetings, call them and say, hey, listen, at this point, you've seen everything there is to see, and I believe at this point you need to make a decision. If you do not, I will make the decision for you, but you probably will not like it, as I'm going to go with you're not a fit for the team. Now, is that a good takeaway? Is that something that may push them off the fence? Is that something that may get them to make a decision one way or another? Guess what? If they say no at this point, does that save you time? It absolutely does. But it certainly postures you and makes you a whole lot more attractive as a leader in this industry. So, you learned some posturing, learned a bunch of different things. I think you guys got a kick out of it. And here's some more advice, and then I'll take a few questions here. I do have a little video over, if you haven't seen it, I think most of you probably have, but at rayhigdon.com I got a little video, 3 major mistakes that keep your leads low. Get better every day. Your attitude will dictate how long you last and how far you go. I listen, I read motivational type stuff. If you're not a part of Success Club, I don't comprehend that. It makes no sense to me. Do you realize that Numis Network is charged $8.75 for every Success Club we send out, and we charge $8.95? Is there a reason that the company is only charging you 20 cents more than they are spending? It's because they want you to get better. They know that when you read Success Magazine, when you listen to the Numis audio CDs, I did an interview with Jake Kevorkian. I've had people tell me it was the best CD they have ever heard. But I bet 99% of you never heard of it because you're not in the Success Club. The Success Club is an auto ship that you can add in your back office. It is Success of the Month Club. You get a CD, you get a book review, you get the Success Magazine, for $9 a month. $9 a month. Highly suggest that you're a part of that. I certainly am. Um, know that you'll never hit your big numbers without talking to at least 5, but more likely 10 people a day. If you have a goal of hitting $100,000 or more per year in this industry, it just isn't going to happen unless you're at least talking to 5 people a day, but more likely closer to 10 people a day. And if you want more information on sponsoring and recruiting and things that I've studied, shoot me an email. I'd be more than happy to get that out to you. Also, know that your upline is like your doctor. Okay? Don't lie to them. If you are not doing certain things, don't tell them you are. But also, don't be so sensitive to someone that's trying to make you better. Give your upline permission to be honest with you, to share with you what they believe is going to actually help you versus what you want to hear. And so that is the presentation. Let's take, I know we ran, it's 10:15 right now, Eastern. Let's see if we got a few questions out here. Wow, all right, cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's see. Once you connect with someone and build some rapport on Facebook. So Dale is asking me, once you connect with someone and build some rapport with them on Facebook via chat or email, do you transition them to the telephone before they see the opportunity? And if so, how do you like to do that? It kind of depends. It kind of depends. If usually you're going to have an infinitely higher chance of getting them to watch your presentation if you talk to them on the telephone. That's usually. Um, and so, how would I like to do that? I'd say, very very simply, hey, what's your phone number? Love to chat with you. Love to put a voice to a name. Love to put a voice to a face. In fact, I may even use their own language against them. If I know that they're visual, then I'll use visual type of stuff, and I'll use auditory against them if that's what they're doing. And so I would suggest getting them on the phone. The your willingness and your focus to get people on the phone rather than go back and forth via chat or emails, which are very easy to ignore, you're going to see a lot more success. Awesome. Funny question. Did I recruit the guy who fixed my blog? Um, I offered to pay him a bunch of money. I told him, I had 2 engineers tell me they couldn't do anything. I'm like, listen, dude, I'm more than happy to send you a pretty decent amount of money if you can get this thing back up. And he said, he couldn't accept it. At the time, it was the farthest thing from my mind to try to recruit him because I was so overwhelmingly looking at the abyss of losing 2 years worth of work that it really didn't cross my mind, Carla. What was the name of what book? You're asking me about a book. I'm not sure what book you're referring to. Sylvester, what book are you talking about? Oh, it is by Michael Lozier, Losier, and it's called The Law of Connections. I don't know if it's connection singular or plural. It's one of those. Ooh, someone is asking me, um, so Rick, you're asking me about Steingart's social media training. Um, you know, um, it's not my cup of tea. That doesn't make it wrong. That doesn't mean it's not good or it won't help somebody. I went through some of it. Wasn't my cup of tea. That's all. I don't want to, bash anybody or anything like that. Wasn't my cup of tea, but I'm sure you'll find people that really loved it to death. So, just my feedback. Is Numis One any good without internet marketing? That's what an interesting question. It's kind of like, is there a website out there and it's never marketed? Will they find it? And the answer is no. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a noise? Who knows, right? Numis One is not a self-marketing tool. It is a tool for you to market. And so if you choose to market it, then yeah, it can be good. If you do not market it, it will not magically deliver leads to you in any way, shape, or form. Hope that answers your question. I've just received my kit and I noticed the cards inside. What do you suggest to do with those? I believe you're talking about the big silver eagles. I'll tell you what I did with them. I actually went to my local Barnes. I put a little sticker on them with my website, my phone number, and I put them. I went to the local Barnes and Noble and I shoved them inside books. So I shoved them inside Atlas Shrugged. I shoved them inside Think and Grow Rich. I shoved them inside Robert Kiyosaki books. That's what I did with them. So, there's other things you can do with them. Is there a nifty way to introduce someone to the coins? Most people I talk to don't seem to get the pretty coin in a plastic box. Anytime you lead with a product, it is usually not a good idea. And sometimes we tend to do that because we're not pushing a hair gel or a car wax because it is gold and silver. However, in network marketing, I very rarely lead with the product because products have no soul, they have no loyalty, and you run into product type goofy questions no matter what your product is. And so I look for people that first want to make a change in their life. People, they join people, but they get excited and they stay loyal to a team. And so when you lead with a team, with the vision of the team, with the training of the team, when you lead with that kind of thing, you get better prospects, period. And so I don't typically lead. However, if you are going to go that route, which is not necessarily my suggestion, there is a great script in the back office under downloads that teaches you to carry a couple bullion pieces with you. And you clang those things around, you put those in someone's hand, they say, wow, this is neat. Then you show them the difference between a loose, scratched up bullion coin versus a museum quality premium bullion graded coin. And you can show that out. So if you are going to lead with that, which is not my necessarily suggestion, you can. What do you do if you don't have an active team in your area? Well, it depends on your motivation level. You either A, celebrate because you own the entire town, or you cry into your mug of beer because you lack outside influences that will motivate you. And so that may sound a little harsh, but if you are going to succeed, it is going to be up to you. The person that needs a team around them wouldn't succeed if they had a team around them. And that is very harsh. I know it is, but I apologize, but it's the truth. When I started in my area, no one was doing it. So I put on my big boy pants, and I went out there and built the business. And that's what when Irwin was in Toronto, he put on his big boy pants, no one else was around him, and he built the hell out of his team. When Dave Lovett joined in Sacramento, no one was there, he put on his big boy pants, and he built a business. When God, I can keep going. Kenneth and Lisa Bristol, when Mike Hatch, when any of these, they put on their big boy pants. They didn't go home and cry to mommy. They put on big boy pants and they built a business in their area, and they were thankful because they owned the entire area. And so you can certainly do that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. How can you explain the comp plan without sounding like you don't know what you're talking about? I actually never explain it. I'm the number one income earner in the company. I literally never explain it, ever. I always send them to a video. Why? If I explain it, then they think they have to explain it, and no one wants to explain anything. And so I would suggest never, ever, ever, ever explaining the compensation plan. That's my suggestion. For us beginners, is it a good approach to tell a prospect, may I put you in an email list so you can get more information? That's a very non-postured way to do it. Can I pretty please with sugar berries on top? place you in an email list that's going to send you information each day, I don't have time for that nonsense. And so I would not ever say something like that. You know, I would ask them, hey, are you even open to making money from home? Because if you're not, let's not waste each other's time. See, that's all posturing. I could do an 8-hour webinar on posturing, and it still wouldn't be enough. It is all, if you are not sponsoring people and you are talking to people, okay, you can't ever sponsor people if you're not talking to people. But if you're not sponsoring people and you're talking to people, it is because of your posture. It is because the pretty please with sugar berries on top does not work. People do not want to be with a leader that's like that. They want to be with a leader that has a vision, that is going somewhere. And so it's not asking about, it's not asking about, hey, can I pretty please send you information? Can I share one good offline tool that I've used successfully? Go to numisgrowth.com and I would watch, there's multiple trainings on there. Numisgrowth.com, we got one on bandit signs, we got one on post-it notes, we got one on drop cards, we got a lot of different things on there. And so cool, well there's probably about 100 more questions here. Appreciate you guys staying on here. If you have a burning desire to get your question answered and I did not answer it, please send it to me in an email. It's Ray Higdon, RayHigdon at rayhigdon.com, and I would be more than happy to put effort and take time to answer those questions for you. Appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I enjoyed making it and presenting it for you guys. And I know that a certain percentage of you are going to take this information and really run with it. And for those of you who are, I look forward to seeing you on stage. So thank you guys so much and have an awesome, awesome night.